And ladies and gentlemen, it is time to go racing from the Lone Star State. Up front will be Kyle Holden and Eric Stoy. On the second row will be Greg McDaniel and Mark Dantuma. Harley Barletta, AJ Godsey of the third row. Raymond Hillhouse, Rick Sargent on the fourth row. William Mann Jr. and Ian Ogden rounding out the top 10. Richie West, 11th. Vern Spring in 12th. 13th is Jeff Hinkle. 14th is Joe Gregory. Mark Nelson in 15th. William Mann Sr. in 16th. Brandon Springer 17th. Gerald Thanos Poole in 18th. Bill Percy in 19th. Nick Marco starts 20th. 21st will be Brian Oshinska. And in case you didn't know, I was waiting for a particular comment. Now that I've got that person commenting, in case you didn't notice, a big shout out to our fearless leader, Jared Heasley, who has just got out of the hospital having COVID. We're all thinking about you. Hope you get better, buddy. And let's see. I do know we have that special logo on screen. Let's see if we can get a look at Thanos' hood. And we'll have to wait till Thanos rolls off and you can see the special logo also sitting on the hood. I do know it was shared, so there might be hiding on a few other cars out there tonight as well. Yeah, Jared, I've heard that as well. I've heard that Bill Percy guy is slow. The field all lining up on track, just waiting on one or two more drivers to take the grid, and we will go racing. And here they come. They start to roll off of pit road. All the drivers now moving. Gerald Thanos Poole went full-on new paint scheme just to get that logo on there. Huge shout out to him for getting the logo made and getting it out there. And getting word Jared will be back for Bristol. Not surprised by that one. Don't have a Topher in race control. So hopefully we get our Topher back here shortly. Drivers coming around 110 laps. They only have 2 additional sets of tires, so tire management will be key here tonight. The final race before the playoffs begins. Jared, who is your pick for the win here tonight? Rick Godsey predicts AJ getting win number 8 here. Pace car is in. Here we go from Texas. There's Barney the flag man. He waves it. Green is in the air. They are away at Texas. And Kyle Holden gets a huge jump off into turn 1. Greg McDaniel already up into 2nd. Harley Barletta up 2 spots into 3rd. Hey, look at the hood of Harley's car there as well. Raymond Hillhouse now up into 5th. AJ in 6th. William. Oh! Kyle Holden is on pit road. I'm guessing he jumped the start, so now Greg McDaniel has the lead. Hey, good evening, Russell. How's it going? My mistake. Next week is the last week before the playoffs. Bristol. Wow. That could shake the points up a bit. And Jared Heasley's bet is on Jeff Hinkle. With it being a tire wear kind of race, Jeff Hinkle's definitely one of the best predictions you could make. Jeff currently runs in 13th. Big movers of the race so far, and we're just a couple laps in. William Mann Jr. already up 4 spots into the top 5. Brandon Springer up 5 spots into 12th despite the lack of peanut butter. Bill Percy surprisingly up 4 spots. He's up to 15th. Can he keep moving forward? Haven't seen much of Bill in recent weeks due to real-life racing commitments. Great to see him back out on the track. Greg McDaniel comes in tonight 4th in points. Actually, he is tied with Hinkle for 3rd. Hinkle ahead by better finishing positions. William Mann Jr. just turned the fastest lap of the race so far. Greg McDaniel's lead about 3/4 of a second, but it is shrinking very quickly as Eric Stoy in 2nd place and Harley Barletta now in 3rd. Nose to tail getting some drafting work together. And now here comes Raymond Hillhouse looking to the bottom of Barletta. Down at the bottom into turn 1. Heard these drivers say, get a lot of push in the middle of 1 and 2. That's a risky move on the bottom. Raymond Hillhouse now up 4 spots into 3rd. Harley Barletta back to 4th. William Mann Jr. in 5th. Mark Dantuma back 4 spots, started in 4th, back to 8th, has not had a great start to this one. He did say this is not his track. He does not have a lot of good luck here, so he figured he'd drive the Ford to make it a little bit worse. Richie West up 2 spots, now back into 9th place. Vern Spring back on track and back up into the top 10. Greg McDaniel continues to lead and has actually started to pull away just a little bit now that Raymond Hillhouse has made his way up into 2nd place. Eric Stoy back into 3rd. AJ Godsey has now made his way up into the top 5, getting past William Mann Jr. And it looks like somebody might have clipped the wall back there. Everybody gets by okay. I think that was Rick Sargent that clipped the wall out of turn 2. Not seeing any significant damage to the right side of that car. Rick holding on to 11th place after starting in 8th. And look at this. The man on the move right now is the 95 of Bill Percy, up 6 spots, now into 13th. Meanwhile, Greg McDaniel has been out front since the drop of the green, actually since getting past Kyle Holden on lap 1, and now is for the first time tonight under attack from Raymond Hillhouse. One of the newcomers has really come in here and shown he is fast. Hillhouse down to the bottom into turn 1. Greg moves up the track, just lets him by easy. And Hillhouse drifts up the track, just washes up a hair. Greg almost had a run down to the bottom again. Greg now in second. Eric Stoy in third. Harley Barletta's fourth. AJ Godsey in fifth. Bill Percy has now made his way up to 12th place. And look behind him, Gerald Thanos Poole up to 13th after starting in 18th. Both drivers really charging their way forward. Brian Oshinska also up 4 spots already. He's up into 17th. Kyle Holden now being scored a lap down after what we believe was a jumped start. Mark Nelson ended up starting from pit road, and we've got a car going into pit road already. Nick Marco already on pit road. Getting word that Bill Percy will have additional post-race inspection because Jared thinks he's cheating. I'm gonna fall out of my chair laughing. Bill Percy on the march now sets his sights on Vern Spring. I checked those tires. I bet they got something special on them. Percy now down to the bottom. Vern shuts the door briefly, but it won't be a no! They collide, and Bill Percy's in the wall. They're spinning. Caution is out. Jeff Hinkle's caught up in it. Joe Gregory gets caught up in it. And what a heartbreak for Bill Percy, who was marching through the field here. We'll back it up just a little bit, and you can see Vern Spring moves up the track, bounces off the wall, bounces, and just catches the right rear on Bill Percy's car, sends him around, and Bill has no control all over the front of the track. First caution of the night, just a few laps in. We may not see many pit stops here. They still have close to 100 laps to go. Guys are not going to want to swap tires out. Bill ended up having to tow to pit road, therefore he will end up going at least one lap down. A heartbreak. Hopefully he will get a quickie caution, get back to the lead lap, and can fight his way back through the field. And it looks like outside the top 10, we've got a lot of guys hitting pit road. Mark Dantuma, Vern Spring, Gerald Poole, William Mann Sr., Brian Oshinska, Brandon Springer, all on pit road. And since he is not going to pit road, let's get a word with Kyle Holden and find out what happened at the start of the race. Hey Kyle, it's Doug. You got me?
Hey Doug, what's going on?
Hey, so I have to ask about the start. Did you get a penalty jump the start, or what happened?
I did. I was like, man, this green flag is not coming out. I guess I'm gonna have to just do it myself. And then she gave me the good old black flag there. So hoping we can make it through the field here and maybe get our lap back. But if not, we'll just have good racing.
Well, man, it hurts to see that. Looks like you've got a fast car. You've passed everybody that's been ahead of you since you got back out on track. Hopefully you'll get that lap back and we see you up fighting for the win.
We hope so. Thanks, Doug.
Heartbreaking for Kyle Holden. Going a lap down almost off the start of this one. Waiting to see. I believe Nick Marco should receive the wave around, the lucky dog wave around on this one. It will either be Nick Marco or... No, it's going to be Brandon. No, who's it going to be? Have to wait a minute and see who it is. It looks like it should be either Nick Marco or Kyle Holden getting the wave around. Bill Percy appears to have retired from the race after a heartbreak. Bill definitely had one of the fastest cars on track tonight. Just a bunch of bad luck. Had a great race car, had charged up 8 spots already before a driver bounced off the wall and collected him. Raymond Hillhouse out front, Greg McDaniel in second, Eric Stoy in third, Harley Barletta in fourth, AJ Gotze in fifth, William Mann Jr., Ian Ogden, Rick Sargent, Richie West, and Gerald Thanos Poole rounding out the top 10. Mark Nelson has gone to... I am not sure what's going on. No, Mark is coming back out off pit road. It looked like he might have towed to pit road at some point. A lot of weirdness going on tonight at Texas as they stack back up for the restart. And it does look like Nick Marco did get the lucky dog. He is still showing 1 lap down. Kyle Holden 2 laps down. Bill Percy out of the race. And Mark Nelson several laps down as well. They bring it down the back straightaway, getting ready for the pace car to drop in. I guarantee you nobody's jumping the restart this time. Out of turn 4. Pace car is in. Here they come down toward the green flag, back in the air. Remember, some of the guys outside the top 10 now on fresh tires. Some went in for fuel only. Raymond Hillhouse quickly to the lead. Eric Stoy fighting Greg McDaniel for second. AJ Gotze in the mix, helping his teammate go to third. Gets his nose under for third. Harley Barletta back behind in fourth. William Mann in fifth. William Mann Jr. in sixth. Ian Ogden in seventh. Then a side-by-side battle. Richie West and Rick Sargent battling it out for 7th place. Ian Ogden comes out ahead. He's in 7th. Richie in 8th. Rick Sargent trying to get by. And William Mann Sr. in the top 10. He's up 6 spots. Gerald Poole up 7 spots into 11th. Brandon Springer up 5 spots into 12th. Vern Spring did go to pit road. Looks like that car has gotten repairs from hitting the wall. Jeff Hinkle back in 14th also has been to pit road for repairs. Joe Gregory in 15th. Mark Dantuma 16th. Brian Oshinska in 17th. Meanwhile, Raymond Hillhouse 7/10 of a second lead over Eric Stoy. The top 10 pretty much single file for the moment. Kyle Holden trying to work his way up through the field and unlap himself. That would be an impressive run if Kyle could unlap himself the old-fashioned way. Everybody pushing. Everybody pushing right to the limit, especially coming off turn 4, trying to keep it out of the safer barrier, but get as much momentum as possible. Turns 1 and 2 extremely tricky here, getting them right, and the drivers all said it has a push in the middle and loose off in these cars that have so little downforce. Greg McDaniel now back to AJ's bumper. He's looking down low. Backs out, lets him have it for the moment. Harley Barletta in 5th. William Mann Jr. right there with him in 6th. Ian Ogden in 7th. Richie West in 8th. Vern Spring in 9th. Joe Gregory up 4 spots into 10th. Joe comes by William Mann Sr. Gerald Poole, who was making his way through the field, is now faded. Gerald now back into 14th. Jeff Hinkle in 15th. Expect if this thing stays green for a long period of time, Hinkle will pick up a lot of spots on the long run. Oh, we've got a little bit of a bump between Vern Spring. I think that was Vern Spring and Richie. Let's, No, that was not Vern. We'll have to figure out who that was. There was a little bump, and a car went up the track in turn 3. Brian Oshinska's back on pit road. Meanwhile, Joe Gregory continues to fight his way forward as he comes by Richie West for 9th place now. Sight set ahead for Ian Ogden, currently running in 8th. William Mann Jr. not far ahead in 7th. He is all over Harley's back bumper, though. The first car in the top 5 on fresh tires is Vern Spring. He went in under that first caution at lap 17, got 4 fresh tires, and is now running in 5th and running down AJ Godsey in 4th. AJ just over a second ahead. That gap is being shrunk quickly. The top 4 all on old tires at the moment. And Raymond Hillhouse, also on old tires, now has a 1.1 second lead over Eric Stoy. Greg McDaniel currently runs in 3rd, AJ in 4th, Vern in 5th. Vern consistently chopping away at that gap between him and AJ Godsey. He's got to be careful not to burn the tires up too early, though. Some of the drivers that came in on lap 17 took fuel only, and seeing how that strategy plays out for them. Ian Ogden continuing to try and work his way forward. He is also on old tires. And Joe Gregory, another one that is working his way forward. He is also stopped at the same time as Vern Spring. He is now up into 6th place and running down Vern Spring as well. I think Joe is just running everybody down. Expect green flag stops between lap 35 and 40. Could be extended a little bit by those caution laps. And then there will be the occasional guy like a Jeff Hinkle that can stretch it even further. So should start seeing green flag stops anytime. Looks like Brian Oshinska is still on pit road. Brian Oshinska is officially retired. So Bill Percy, Brian Oshinska are both out of the race. Mark Nelson back in 19th, several laps down. Kyle Holden a couple laps down, and Nick Marco a lap down. Tire wear definitely starting to play a factor. Raymond Hillhouse's fastest lap, a 31.1, this time by 32.5. So 1.4 seconds slower in 40 laps. Greg McDaniel now back into second. Meanwhile, Joe Gregory has gotten past Vern Spring, AJ Gotze, and now sets his sights on Eric Stoy. He is definitely making the most out of those fresher tires right now. Vern Spring has come by AJ and now into the top 5. Could a bold strategy play here tonight make this Vern Spring's night and his first win in BRR competition? AJ and Harley going at it. Harley following Vern through. Harley now up to 6, moves AJ back into 7th. William Mann Jr. currently in 8th, and Kyle Holden still trying to unlap himself. Back in 18th, is staying with this lead group and has run them down. Hillhouse is leading now 1.8 seconds over Greg. Greg is about to be under attack from Joe Gregory, as Joe within a half a second now. Be interesting to see how it all works out once all these drivers start the green flag stops, if this stays green to the end. AJ Gotze is the first to come from inside the top 10. He is on pit road. The leaders cannot afford to stay out a whole lot longer. 1 or 2 laps tops, and then they're going to start losing time to AJ. Raymond Hillhouse continues to stay out, as does Greg McDaniel. Joe Gregory did pit earlier, and now look at Harley Barletta starting to come alive on the long run. Harley now up to 4th, comes by Eric Stoy. Speaking of long run, Jeff Hinkle is now up into the top 10. He did pit on lap 16. Looks like repairs only in fuel. He might have taken one side of tires, but if he did, his crew had a very quick stop. Eric Stoy, Greg McDaniel now on pit road. Brandon Springer is on pit road. Raymond Hillhouse still out clicking away. AJ Godsey is back out on track, currently scored in 16th. Hillhouse continuing to click away laps, hoping for a caution where he can trap a bunch of drivers a lap or more down. Joe Gregory currently in second place. He was one of the drivers that stopped on lap 16 and has since marched his way through the field. Mark D'Antuma is on pit road. The Ford probably misfiring. Harley Barletta currently runs in third. Vern Spring runs in fourth. And Richie West now running in fifth. And it looks like AJ is starting to storm through the field on those fresh tires. Oh, he gets into the back bumper. William Mann Jr. sends him around. Jr. holds on to it. I think Jr. may have gotten the wall there. Ian Ogden is on pit road. Junior is still going, but he has been slowed dramatically. A little bit of damage. You can see where AJ was bump drafting him down the straightaway. William has not been to pit road yet. Let's see if we can pull up a replay of that. Here we go. Watch William Mann Jr. as AJ bump drafts him down the front straightaway, trying to give him a little help, but just stays connected as they go off into turn one. Jr. all the way. I think he just barely gets the wall. I think he just gave it a little kiss. Great save by Junior, as now Joe Gregory goes to the lead for the first time. Raymond Hillhouse has gone to pit road. Harley Barletta is staying out. He has not been to pit road yet. Neither is Richie West or William Mann Jr. Richie heads to pit road. Remember, we talked about Jeff Hinkle has gone to pit road and at best has only got one side of tires. He definitely had a 7-second pit stop, so he definitely did not get both sides of tires. Now he's up the middle, but he had to have repairs from that caution. It looks like repairs and fuel only were what happened with Jeff Hinkle, yet he is still out there and up to third now. Hinkle doing Hinkle things, saving tires and fuel, charging his way up through the field. Harley Barletta, William Mann Jr. finally come to pit road. They are the last two, as well as Mark Nelson, the last ones to hit pit road. And Joe Gregory, who stopped on lap 16, will have the lead. The top four stopped on lap 16 or 17. Joe Gregory, Vern Spring in second, Jeff Hinkle in third, William Mann Sr. in fourth. Hinkle and William Mann, though, did not have full pit stops. Both of them roughly 7-second stops. Raymond Hillhouse just set the fastest lap of the race. He is back in 8th, and you know what? Just for fun, Trying to find that replay again. Of William Mann Jr.'s epic save here. There we have it. Let's back it up and right along in Junior's car here. Let's just see how out of shape that car was for that save. You can see the tack jumping when he gets bumped. He was way out of shape and right by the wall, but never touched it. Great save by William Mann Jr. Vern Spring is now on pit road. Joe Gregory in the lead. Hinkle now to second. William Mann Sr. currently runs in third, and the first car who has completed a full pit stop on lap 42 is Greg McDaniel, currently running in fourth, and right behind him, looking for win number 8 this season, is AJ Godsey in the 5. Although they might want to worry just a little bit. Raymond Hillhouse currently runs back in 6th, 3.5 seconds back, and he is gaining on him. Yes, Jared, it is ironic that Mann got slammed, considering that's usually his thing. Joe Gregory out front is starting to put more and more cars a lap down. Eric Stoy, who currently runs in 7th, is barely ahead of Joe Gregory. Only 7 cars left on the lead lap. 8th place, Harley Barletta, is a lap down. If the caution comes out before Joe gets to pit road, it could change up a lot of guys' strategy. Now the first full run of pit stops has been completed. Let's go through the field and show you who's where. Starting with Joe Gregory up front, has had an excellent night. Some great strategy has him out front by 10 seconds. Over second place, Jeff Hinkle, who was on pit road lap 16 for repairs and fuel only. William Mann Sr., now up in third, also stopped on lap 16. Up 13 spots, one of his best runs of the season. Greg McDaniel, the first car that has completed pit stop since lap 40, is running fourth. AJ Godsey currently sitting in 5th, looking for his 8th win of the season. Raymond Hillhouse, though, on the march again. He is now within half a second of AJ in 6th. Eric Stoy currently running in 7th, trying to hang with his teammate Harley Barletta in 8th. Harley Barletta, the first car, 1 lap down. He's going to come back by the leader and unlap himself. Mark Dantuma's Ford in 9th. It's a miracle it's still running. Jeff Hinkle is on pit road now. Brandon Springer currently running in 10th, having another great night. Ian Ogden currently running in 11th, trying to come by Springer on the high side. He comes around on the outside. Richie West back in 12th, hanging with these guys, trying to make up a little bit of ground. William Mann Jr., after that epic save and a pit stop, currently runs in, now up in 12th, and some of the freshest tires on track. Gerald Thanos Poole runs in 13th, having a great night, up 5 spots already. Vern Spring currently scored in 14th place, got repaired after the incident with Bill Percy. Looks like he has a little bit of left front damage. Rick Sargent currently running in 15th. Jeff Hinkle completes his pit stop, comes out in 16th. Kyle Holden in 17th after a rough start to this race, getting black flag for jumping the start. Nick Marco in 18th has struggled since the drop of the green. Mark Nelson, Brian Oshinska, and Bill Percy all out of the race. I'm going to say yes, Jeff Hinkle probably took tires. I'm checking his pit stop time, though. Yeah, he took tires, but he still had a very, very fast pit stop. In fact, looking through here, the only drivers that had a faster pit stop than Jeff Hinkle's, there was a few of them. Brandon Springer, Harley Barletta, AJ Godsey, and Greg McDaniel all had faster stops. That was it. Jeff Hinkle had the 4th fastest stop on that round. Bill, man, I have to tell you, buddy, my heart broke seeing that because you were on you had a rocket tonight. It was great seeing you be that fast, and I would have been cheering for you in victory lane. I can guarantee you that. Raymond Hillhouse has now made his way up into second, but he is 20 seconds behind Joe Gregory. Joe will have to come in the next few laps. Joe last pitted lap 16, so he is going to need to come in, but Joe Gregory may have just outsmarted everybody because this will be his final stop. When he comes to pit road, he has snookered everybody in the field. He'll come to pit road. It will be his final stop. Everybody else will have to make at least one more stop. As long as this thing stays green, Joe Gregory has snookered the whole field. Joe Gregory gives up the lead and comes to pit road. Raymond Hillhouse in second, 17 seconds back. Joe Gregory will lose some spots on pit road, but he was still leading when Hillhouse hit the start-finish line. Joe Gregory, since joining BRR, has been in 3 races, only 1 top 10 finish, and may have just outsmarted the entire field, may pull off the win here tonight. Hillhouse definitely one of the fastest cars out there tonight, but will still have to make another stop. Joe Gregory is back off of pit road now, currently scored in 14th. And does have the freshest tires on track. Also has enough fuel to make it to the end. And I do believe he'll be the only driver that can go the distance from here. Yep, he should be the only driver that can go the distance from here. Everybody else will have to stop at least once. Joe Gregory, after his stop, has already... He came off pit road in 14th spot. He was about 4 seconds behind Vern Spring. He actually was in 15th behind Jeff Hinkle. Just past Jeff Hinkle, William Mann Sr. is now on pit road. Joe was 4 seconds behind Vern Spring when he came off pit road. There you see the gap. Less than a second. He is flying up through this field on those fresher tires. 40 laps to go. He may have just outsmarted everybody. Raymond Hillhouse, meanwhile, out front of Greg McDaniel by 1.3 seconds. Although this could be a huge night for Greg McDaniel. If he finished second, he would easily pull up to third, would claim third in points as they run right now, and would do a lot to close up the gap to second. Harley Barletta in third, the points leader. Would maintain that points lead. And again, just a reminder, Mark Dantuma second in points. The only driver in the top 5 without a win this season. Raymond Hillhouse coming by, putting Rick Sargent a lap down. Joe Gregory continues his march forward, now up to 11th. Gerald Poole also starting to come alive. He is now up into 12th. Greg McDaniel trying to hold on, still losing ground. Harley Barletta gaining on McDaniel, but oh so slowly. And now that the field has spread out a bit, everybody's starting to settle in to run their own race. Big gaps between everybody in the top 5. Eric Stoy is gaining on his teammate AJ Godsey. They are about 1 second apart. Worth noting, Joe Gregory now back into the top 10. William Mann Jr., after his epic recovery, currently running in 8th, looking to make his way back toward the front. And Eric Stoy just about into draft range with his teammate AJ Godsey. Richie West also having a good night, up into 7th place. Jeff Hinkle, after his pit stop, was back in 15th. He started picking them off, now up into 12th. William Mann Sr., after that later than everybody else pits, holy cow, almost gets into Thanos. He is back in 16th, trying to make his way forward. Greg McDaniel is on pit road. He is the first to come in for his final stop. And now the strategy game really begins. Hillhouse's lead now 3.9 seconds over Harley Barletta, who's moved into 2nd. Greg McDaniel still sitting on pit road, getting that final 4 tires and fuel. I think Greg McDaniel got a penalty on pit road. His stop has gone long. Greg McDaniel stopped now at 40 seconds. He gave up 2nd to come in. He is now losing a lot of time and positions. William Mann Jr. coming to pit road. Ian Ogden, Kyle Holden also on pit road. Harley Barletta now to 2nd. Eric Stoy in 3rd. A teammate AJ what in the world is going on off of turn 2? Looked like Eric was having some problems off turn 2. Let's watch him next time by. Oh no, Eric is on pit road. AJ Godsey does stay out. Mark Dantuma still out. Richie West, Joe Gregory now up into 6th as he continues to chip away at the lead. Greg McDaniel back out on track. He is currently scored in 15th place. 3 laps down after a penalty, I'm guessing speeding on pit road. Joe Gregory moves to the high side, lets him go by. He'll try and follow the guy on fresh tires through. No, they're going to go 3 wide through turn 1. And Joe Gregory comes by Richie West. Nick Marco has crashed. Let's see what happened. Looks like he had gone off track through the quad. The car just snaps right in the on the quad oval. He manages to get it down on the grass, not affect the racing surface, no caution, and ends up towing to pit road. A rough end of the night for Nick. Joe Gregory now back in the top 5 and chopping away at the leader, Raymond Hillhouse. Just in the last 2 laps, he has gained over a second on Hillhouse, but Hillhouse will still have to pit. One more time, he'll have fresh tires and a faster car. Mark Dantuma, Jeff Hinkle now on pit road. Harley Barletta, Raymond Hillhouse in the lead. Harley Barletta second, AJ in third. Joe Gregory now up into 4th. Richie West now into 5th. Brandon Springer in 6th. Gerald Thanos Thanos just comes by. Brandon Springer now to pit road. Vern Spring into 7th. Raymond Hillhouse gives up the lead. He'll come to pit road. Harley Barletta leads for the first time here at Texas. AJ now in 2nd. Joe up to 3rd, trying to run him down. You see Kyle Holden there. Kyle currently a couple of laps down, had been fighting his way back around trying to unlap himself, but so far has been unsuccessful at it. Richie West, Gerald Poole, and AJ Godsey now come to pit road. Harley Barletta still in the lead. Here comes Jeff Hinkle on fresh tires. This may come down to how big of a lead Joe Gregory can get with the other car over the other cars currently stopped right now. 24 laps to go. Harley Barletta will still have to stop one more time. Harley Barletta last pitted lap 49. He is hoping for a caution here that would trap all but 3 cars a lap down. Only 3 cars on the lead lap at the moment. He currently has a 12-second lead over Joe Gregory, but that lead is shrinking. Harley Barletta gives up the lead. He comes to pit road. Joe Gregory currently is coming back to the lead. Vern Spring in second place, 17.5 seconds back. Raymond Hillhouse will be third. Harley Barletta's pit stop, if short enough, might get him out in the top 5 here. He is on his way off pit road, just now changing into third place. Now Harley is back in fourth as you see Hillhouse go by. He comes up to speed through 1 and 2. Eric Stoy is coming from behind. Will Harley be able to hold on to fourth? Eric Stoy right behind him in fifth. Eric's got a head of steam coming, but Harley gets it up to speed quickly. Harley has to be careful that first lap on cold tires. The car can get a little skittish. And Harley Barletta will hold on to fourth. So after the final round of pit stops, 6 cars currently on the lead lap. Joe Gregory, Raymond Hillhouse, Vern Spring, Harley Barletta, Eric Stoy, and AJ Godsey. Mark Dantuma is the first car 1 lap down in 7th. Ian Ogden currently runs in 8th. William Mann Sr. in 9th. Richie West in 10th. Jeff Hinkle currently runs in 11th. Brandon Springer in 12th. Gerald Thanos Poole in 13th. Greg McDaniel, after that horrific pit stop and the penalty, currently running in 14th. Rick Sargent currently in 15th. Kyle Holden, after the black flag at the start of the race, in 16th. William Mann Jr. has retired from the race. Nick Marco has retired from the race. Joe Gregory has 18 laps to go and a 15.5 second lead. He can make it on fuel, but can he hold off Raymond Hillhouse? Last time by, Hillhouse was over a second faster. We'll watch their lap times as they come by this time. Joe Gregory last time a 32.8. Raymond Hillhouse comes by 31.3, 1.5 seconds faster. 17 laps, he can make up the gap. The gap currently 13.6 seconds. Hillhouse is gaining on him. Joe Gregory may very well be saving fuel on a couple of these laps. It may be close. His times have fluctuated quite a bit. About every other lap, it seems like he is a little bit off pace. Willing to bet he is getting out of the throttle, doing everything he can to save it. Let's take a lap around with Joe. He is rolling through 1 and 2, letting up a lot of speed. Easing back onto it. I think Joe Gregory is saving fuel. Easing back onto it through 3 and 4. I'm pretty sure Joe Gregory is just saving fuel. Vern Spring comes in for his final stop. Hillhouse now 11 seconds back. But the times last time by, only 1 second a lap faster. Plus, once he gets there, he has got to find a way around Gregory. Harley Barletta back in third, 6.5 seconds behind Raymond Hillhouse. He is gaining on him, but will not be enough to affect the finish. Eric Stoy in 4th, AJ Godsey in 5th. Does not look like at the moment he'll get that 8th win tonight. Mark Dantuma currently runs in 6th. Somehow that Ford is still in one piece. It's a miracle. Richie West currently runs in 7th. Ian Ogden in 8th. William Mann Sr. currently runs in 9th. And Jeff Hinkle now back up into 10th. Greg McDaniel, who had a rough final stop, is trying to gain on Gerald Thanos Pool, is not making any headway at the moment. Meanwhile, Joe Gregory has a little bit of drafting help, but he has lost a little bit of time fighting with a couple of the lap cars. The gap now 8.6 seconds. 11 laps to go. The gap 8.5 seconds. Raymond Hillhouse on fresh tires is definitively faster, but at some point he has been out there on those tires for about 16 laps. At some point they are going to start fading, and they could equalize to what Joe Gregory has before this race is over. Plus, he still has to navigate the same lap traffic Joe Gregory had to. He is gaining and gaining rapidly, but lap traffic and tire wear will be an issue here. Now you got a lap car, the 21 of Ian Ogden, coming back by the leader. Unlapping himself, he is now back to the lead lap in 8th. 9 to go. 6.6 seconds is the gap. And William Mann Sr. not likely to make this pass easy, just because it's one of the best runs he has had all season long. Hillhouse looks to the bottom. Man makes it, lets him go by easily there. Hillhouse now 5.7 seconds back. 8 laps to go for Joe Gregory. Trying to stay in the draft of the lap car of Ian Ogden. Last time by, that time Joe ran a 32.7. What does Hillhouse run? 32.2. The rate at which Hillhouse is gaining has started decreasing. He was gaining by a second a lap. It is now down to under half a second a lap. Six laps to go. This is going to be close. Harley Barletta third. Fourth place is AJ Godsey. Eric Stoy in fifth. Most of the field spread out. Not a lot of battles going on track. Ian Ogden letting the leader back by. Jeff Hinkle now up into 9th. William Mann Sr. in 10th. Gerald Thanos Poole in 11th. Brandon Springer in 12th. Joe Gregory has 5 laps to go. Hillhouse can see him at the end of the back straightaway. But does he have enough time to close down a 4.3 second gap? He continues to be a half a second a lap faster. That time by Joe Gregory actually cranked up the throttle a bit. Hillhouse only gained 0.4 of a second. It's going to be close. The gap now 3.7 seconds as they get 3 to go. Definitely Joe Gregory, Raymond Hillhouse, two great additions to the league, if the league owner does say so himself. Joe Gregory is going to come around this time. Popsicle sticks in the air. It'll be 2 to go. He's got a 3.5 second lead at the line. Does he have the fuel? He stopped right on the line. And he's been conserving fuel throughout the run. His last couple of laps have actually gotten faster. He has stopped conserving fuel. He has stopped letting Hillhouse gain on him. White flag is in the air for Joe Gregory, about to get his first win in BRR competition. Hillhouse back in second, one last shot. Can he gain 3.25 seconds? As long as Joe Gregory does not run out of fuel, he is going to win. The points leader, Harley Barletta, in third at the moment. A big gap over AJ in fourth. Out of turn 4, Joe Gregory plays a perfect strategy and wins at Texas. Raymond Hillhouse, a valiant comeback, comes home in second. Harley Barletta, the points leader, finishing in third. And let's start with interviewing third place, Harley Barletta. Hey, Harley, it's Doug. You got me?
Hey, what's up, Mr. Burns?
Hey, buddy. A great run, a great third place finish, and good points night for you.
Yeah, thanks, man. We took 2 tires on that last stop. I actually think Raymond took 2 tires, too. I know I gave him a couple laps. He short-pitted, and I kind of ran it out a little bit more, but I also think he took 2 tires because he was a little slower than me towards the end there, and I was like, I think he took 2 tires, too.
No,
But good on Joe getting the win, man. Did he take 4?
Yep, he took 4 tires, so you were definitely faster there at the end, even though he had 4 fresh tires.
That's what's up. I should have pit when he pit. Darn.
A great run. You extend your points lead again, buddy. Congratulations.
Thanks, man. I'll make sure to put Jar Jar in my car next week.
Please don't.
I will.
Okay, bye. Harley Barletta comes home in second. Let me see if I can find Raymond Hillhouse. Hey, Ray, it's Doug. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, that was a valiant effort after that last stop, and you were really flying.
Yeah. I can't be upset with the second place. I'm happy with it, but yeah, just wish I had some more tires there.
Man, you were running him down at one point by 1.5 seconds a lap, and then you could just tell when the tires started fading. Then it went to 1 second, then it went to half a second a lap. But at no point did you ever stop running him down. It's just not enough laps left. How many more laps would you think you would have needed there?
I think about 5. I was doing the math in my head the whole time. Like, okay, if I can just hit my marks coming through here, I'm catching him this quick and this many laps left. But I think maybe 5 I would have gotten to him.
Man, it was definitely a valiant effort. You were definitely one of the dominant, fastest cars out there tonight. Congratulations on a second place finish.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Ray Hillhouse definitely put on a show tonight, but let's see if we can talk to our winner. Hey, Joe, this is Doug. You got me?
Yeah.
Hey, bold strategy move, pulling on, and it pulled off the win for you tonight. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, it was actually completely by accident. I didn't mean to change tires on that first pit stop. I was just worried about getting my damage fixed, and it actually paid off.
It definitely did. I have to ask, on that last run after that stop, we knew you were right on the cusp of being able to make it on fuel. There was a few laps there that it seemed like you were a lot slower. Were you conserving fuel?
Yeah, at one point I was only like a half a lap to the good, so I started saving some there.
It was definitely noticeable. We rode in car with you. Could tell you were conserving here and there, and your lap times definitely showed. But man, once Hillhouse got within about 5 seconds of you, you just started cranking it back up, and he could not do anything with you.
Yeah, I had forgot to adjust my brake bias as we was running, and Ian was in the Discord with me, and he's like, "Turn it down and just let her eat." And it took right off.
It definitely made a difference, man. Congratulations, your first win. Only 4 races in and you get your first win. That is an awesome record, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Joe Gregory gets his first win in BRR competition, and wow, what a win it was. What a bold move, purely by accident, and what a great story it was tonight. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to come back tomorrow night. The Jones BS Racing League mods and legends are back tomorrow. It's going to be a great night of racing as always. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Jared, glad you're feeling better, buddy. And y'all have a good night.